As a team member supporting the new CEO's arrival or the new CEO in their first few months, what's your job with respect to communication? If you're a communications professional, you probably answer that question quite easily because it's your training. So make sure you take a step back and make sure that the board understands who the audiences are for the communication, what the key messages are, why you're recommending the strategy that you're recommending. Because ultimately, they need to represent this message. This is a choice of the board, and they need to be empowered to be ambassadors or advocates for the next CEO. Of course, your team members may also not know all of their roles. So if you're the chief of staff or you're an executive assistant and you're part of making sure that the new CEO gets to the right place to film the communications messages, make sure if you're the communications professional that you're briefing that person so they can support your process well. And the other thing just to keep in mind is if your CEO is a first-time CEO, they may have no background in communication. They might not know what they're going to have to do, why they're going to have to do it. They may not be comfortable in front of camera. They may not be comfortable trying to even tell you what their personal brand is or what their key messages are. So have patience, as much training for a first-time CEO than it is execution. And what if you're another role in the organization? Maybe you're a direct report to the CEO. Maybe you're that chief of staff or the executive assistant to the CEO. Make sure that you're asking the questions of the communications team or of the board or of the new CEO about the communications plan. You almost become the front line or the radar to make sure that there is a communication plan and that everybody is pulling together. You can be the catalyst of making sure all those different roles are actually talking to each other in the process. As those communications messages are being released inside or outside of the organization, you may actually have responsibility to make sure that they go out, and you may also field all the questions when they come back. So make sure those communications talk about how do you reach the CEO, how do you book a meeting with them, and who is going to be responsible for navigating all of that feedback that comes back. So it might be you, and you may not be told about that yet in the process. So communications is a team sport with respect to a new CEO. Make sure you're asking your colleagues what your role is and what it isn't and how you can support them. This is a strategic opportunity to promote your next CEO as well as the amazing things that happen in your organization.